From the local station, News 4 Jax starts now.
Now, President Biden meeting with the Crown Prince and other Saudi ministers. This trip comes amid high gas prices and widespread inflation here in the United States. President Biden and other officials have dismissed Saudi Arabia's rich oil supply as a key motivator for the trip. He says he is viewing it as a chance to reset the relationship between these two nations. Now, it has already been a historic trip for Biden. He is now the first president to fly from Israel to Saudi Arabia, a U.S. president. Overnight, Saudi Arabia confirmed that it would open its airspace to Israeli airlines. Biden is calling this moment historic, saying that it followed months of steady diplomacy. U.S. officials have suggested talks will tackle energy security issues and added Biden wants to engage leaders in ways to bring gas prices down, something we could all use. Also today, the House will vote on two bills that would protect abortion access nationwide. It is the very first attempt at responding to the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. One would ban restrictions that block access to abortions and would prevent any abortion bans earlier than 24 weeks. The other would protect people's rights to travel to another state to get a legal abortion. It also protects doctors who are performing those surgeries. The bills are expected to pass the House today, but will likely be blocked in an evenly divided Senate. Now to Georgia. Today is the final day attorneys can challenge the state's abortion law. Within hours of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the state told attorneys they had 21 days to file an appeal. The state's current law says doctors cannot perform an abortion once they detect a fetal heartbeat. This is about 6 weeks into pregnancy. Once attorneys file, the federal appeals court can either uphold the state law or let a 3-judge panel decide ultimately what happens. Meantime, one person is dead after a crash on Lakeside Drive this morning. According to JSO, the SUV hit a utility pole while going north. The driver and the passenger went to the hospital. Officers say the driver is expected to be okay, but the female passenger did die. JSO saying that this is the 103rd traffic death in Duval County this year. 12:02 this afternoon, a Jacksonville Beach woman will spend the next 40 years in prison. Amy Oliver pleading guilty to killing her 3-year-old son. Amy Oliver also pleaded guilty to assaulting a paramedic. Now, before the judge sentenced her, family members provided impact statements. Oliver's son was found unresponsive back in October of 2020. And according to prosecutors, the father of the boy told Jacksonville Beach police Oliver tried to kill their child. The arrest report adds the father forced open a locked bathroom door and found her holding an uncapped syringe. Medical examiners ruled the 3-year-old's death as drug toxicity. Happening right now, a former JTA bus driver in court. He will be sentenced after pleading guilty to running over a woman in 2019. Gene Silney was seen in a suit sitting there in court. Now, according to court records, surveillance showed that the man got into an argument with Jeannie Roser. The video shows Roser getting off of the bus, but her arm somehow got caught in the door. Investigators say that Silney ignored her screams for help, that he drove off and ran over her, killing her in the process. He is facing up to 15 years in prison. The National Suicide Hotline is introducing a 3-digit number tomorrow, and the hope is that this will give more people access to mental health services that they need. The new lifeline is 988. You can call, text, or use the chat feature to connect to trained counselors anytime, 24/7. Counselors say that 1 out of every 6 people calling the current number hang up before talking with someone. The CDC says someone dies by suicide every 11 minutes. This was last year's statistic, but federal funding is helping. The current lifeline number to call, 1-800-273-TALK, will still be available if you're more familiar with that one. Happening right now, JFRD and Drug Free Duval are hosting an online training Narcan seminar. The two agencies are tackling the warning signs of a drug overdose and how to give someone Narcan. Again, this is happening live, so we can take this full and you can hear a little of what they're saying.
This training advertised on the news, but really we want to talk about that prescribed meds. Opioids are prescribed meds to address and manage moderate to severe pain, and focusing in
All right,
right
so
here
these
on
are their efforts to try to keep people alive in our community when they have an overdose. Narcan